To discuss things like that and many other issues at stake today, Jawed Nader, I'm delighted you can join us to talk about this. You are head of an organisation called BAAG, which is a collective of British and Irish NGOs working on the ground in Afghanistan. Thank you so much. The money is probably going to be pledged, I think, as we're hearing lots of generous offers. But there is an increasing concern about corruption. What do the Afghans need to do to try and get to the root of that problem?
Corruption is unfortunately an endemic issue in Afghanistan. But I think there is also different understandings of corruption. Some people talk about macro-level corruption, but they ignore the level of corruption that exists in the grassroots level now. So we need to understand these different layers and address all of them simultaneously. There has been pledges for anti-corruption measures by the Afghan government. There was also a recognition that some of the work of the Afghan government has been productive in this regard. Especially there was a talk about a center that is a justice center that will look at the corruption on a big government level. So, but corruption will be an ongoing problem in Afghanistan, and probably there is no easy solution for that.
We've heard some interesting headlines, to put it mildly, this week about the connection, or the alleged connection, between pledges from the European Union and Afghanistan's performance on controlling migration, the issue of returns, maybe tens of thousands of failed asylum seekers in Europe being sent back to Afghanistan. What is your community, the NGO community's view on that apparent linkage?
We view this whole situation as a very unfortunate situation. There are talks about returning Afghans forcibly from those who have come here because of humanitarian issues, because their lives are at risk. They are going to be forcibly returned to Afghanistan. We think this is unacceptable. This is against human rights principles that the European countries are asking the Afghan government to adhere to. But they are not adhering themselves.
Are you raising that issue today? I know it's not on the agenda, but are you going to talk about it today?
We are definitely going to raise it today. There will be a slot for the civil society, and we'd like to discuss that. But it's also important to understand that we have a big population of displaced people inside Afghanistan, and the majority of the Afghan refugees are in the region, in Pakistan and Iran. So when we talk about the attention given by the media and the general public, it should be both to Afghans who are here, but also those who suffer inside Afghanistan.
We've heard also some focus on the need to regenerate the peace process for an inclusive peace that would include the Taliban. Interesting words from John Kerry and others on that issue. Are you in the NGO community concerned about whether that is a possibility? And if you do bring the Taliban into an eventual peace agreement, how can you preserve the development progress that you've made on the ground?
Peace is the second most difficult issue in Afghanistan. It is very difficult to strike a right balance between peace, stability, and the need for addressing the past injustices. Some of our colleagues in Afghanistan are extremely concerned that the past injustices are being ignored. For example, in the peace process that was done recently with the Hizb Islami, the victims of war were not properly consulted. So this is a key concern. We, the people of Afghanistan, need peace. The bloodshed has been heavy. The civilian casualties are alarmingly high. We need peace, but it should not be at the cost of a long-term justice.
Jawed, thank you very much.